Okay, folks, it's been a minute since I've last been here. I've been working on getting my space organized, and it's taken a whole lot longer than I expected. I would imagine that most everybody has that experience when they try to get their creative space back into some kind of form. What I've been doing, and this is just going to be a very quick kind of run-through video, and then finish up what I'm making here. You can tell from the mess that I kind of like to get everything out into a big pile and then pull it all together. Whoops, you don't need to see all my receipts, do you? Get all my stuff together and then do it. Okay. I'm a little disorganized. I've got some new things that I'm looking forward to having some fun with, and I'll show you those in just a minute. But I just really wanted to show you. I couldn't get, you know how sometimes your mojo just doesn't kick in and you just don't know what to do, and I was very frustrated and very low key, and my energy was off. And so I'm a member of Silhouette University, and Melissa on there, I posted, she said she has a little thing for members that she asks, you know, kind of what can she help you with in terms of your silhouette work and also just your business and things like that. It's just an opportunity to ask someone who's been working in the creative industry for quite a long time. And so I said, what do you do when you just can't seem to find what you want to do next? You just kind of hit a wall. And she suggested to just do something that you're used to doing. You know, if you're a card maker, make a card. If you're an artist in watercolor, whatever it is you're doing, just go ahead and just do something. Make it simple. Don't try to, you know, create a masterpiece. Now I'm putting lots of words to what she said. She was very simple and direct. But basically the advice was just do something, and then the mood will follow. And she's right. That's exactly what I needed to do. And so it really helped a lot to just get started and not to put any kind of, this is for me, I didn't put any kind of pressure on myself that it had to be a certain thing or it had to be sellable or all those things that we do to ourselves. I couldn't gift it. I just did it for me, just to enjoy. And I did put one thing on me, which was to do it quickly, just so I didn't lose momentum and just so I got after it and really followed it through all the way. I had to complete it small enough and that it had to be just for me. So let me show you what I've done. Pulled out all kinds of stuff. And these you'll recognize. You've no doubt got some if you're a person who likes to do mixed media. You've no doubt, if you drink coffee, you no doubt know exactly what those are. I am a big Starbucks fan, and I love lattes, and so I've been hanging on to those, and I've got lots more, but I've been hanging on to them just thinking, what would I do with it? So I decided that I was going to make just a kind of a little junk journal with just those sleeves, those coffee cup sleeves. And let me show you kind of, I didn't care that I was covering them over. Again, I just wanted to be free. So here's what I've done. I started with a little pocket here in the front. And it's not big at all. It isn't, it's not going to hold anything terribly thick, but I could put something like this. Oh, sorry. I could put something like this in it. Let me show you that. Just put it in. If I were going to gift this to somebody, I would theme it towards something they might like. And I might include in the very front a gift card to Starbucks or with pictures of them or whatever. So that's how I started, and that got me moving. And so inside this pocket, I've got just a little something that I could tuck in, a receipt or a picture, or I could, if I draw a little mini picture, I could frame it inside that. This is a paper clip. I'll put it on this. I love making these paper clips. They're super easy. I've got instructions on how to do them too, but they're just very fun to do. This is some Japanese paper that is just lovely in the big sheet. And then these are all just scrapbook and bits and bobs of things from my junk journal stuff. So let me get these back in here. And let me show you next. On the back, this is a bit of vellum. And let me try to get this up here so you can see. It's a bit of vellum. I didn't know what I was going to do with this when I got it. It makes a clear, kind of a, not clear, but a something that you can see, you know, through. But yet, like, I love this. I love these little bug things. And so that's just a pocket. And then I did this little, this is part of my workshop that I did with under Karen Elaine, and I just love her stuff. And it also encourages you to just be bold and simple and non-judgmental in your work. And so I've got a little stash of these to use for different things. And then this pocket, I wanted to leave the little icon face, but I have all kinds, and you likely do, of little beads, little brads, stick-on both, and the ones that have actual prongs that you can stick through. And I don't use them on a lot of things, so I decided, well, then let's use them here. and then my swizzle stick that they have, the stopper that they put in, and I just made a little yarn topper. And then I had a little bit of some little odds and ends of coffee kinds of, you know, images. I have just some little stickers, a little sticker that I made for another project. And then this was something out of I think a Tim Holtz bag. This is a little guy that I made some, I made a little product for an craft festival, and I had made a packet that had tea and coffee and all that sort of thing, and just made this little guy with a fancy cuppa. So I thought, I only had one of those left. This seemed like a good place for it. And then here I have, you know, they're welcome and home-based auspicious pineapples is what those are for. So I've created this. My son for Christmas gave me an amazing box of goodies that's full of all kinds of scrap papers like this, and little wooden things, and just all kinds of things. It was just the perfect little Christmas gift. I was so excited with it. And then these are, you know, butterflies just collected around. And that goes back in there to seal. I've got these little brads, of course, that everybody has all kinds of little brads, I'm sure, different places. And that just happened to be a coffee cup. And this is solar paste, and it has its own fun little shimmer, and that was fun to play with it a little bit. So many times, I don't know about you, but I have so many products, and I don't even open the jars up. I just waste the money almost, because I just don't use things. I like the idea, but then I never get around to using it. So junk journals for me are a way to do that. I love this. This was from a little paper kit. Again, I think this was from Tim Holtz, probably. I love those little vintage style things. This one is Be Your Own Kind of Beautiful. What I might do is, as I'm making cards for people, is I might use this little collection that I've pulled together and make something for that card, and that'd be fun. And then I had these coffee origami papers, and so I just made a little package of those. There's enough in here to make 2 little boxes. They would be little versions of this kind of box, and I love making those. Again, Karen Elaine got me started on making origami boxes, and I just really love those. They're really fun to do. This one is just a bit of paper, and I hope you can see this. I wonder if I should maybe, well, I'm afraid if I touch that thing, it's not gonna work for me. So I'm just gonna hold it up to show you. This opens out, and I've got just a little flower that I would stick on something. I've got a piece of watercolor paper that I might use to put that on or something else. And I have these stickers I created for another project. And so I just have those tucked, I have those tucked in there. I don't know what I'll use them for, but something. So there's that, and I'll do that back up off camera. It's super simple. This was another thing that worked with from Karen Elaine's class. Just again, just little things. She calls it to making fodder to use for your junk journals and things like that. And so I've got quite a bit of fodder created, and I'm really glad that I do, because I do use it a lot. And then this is just a little tab on the side. This was cut off of a package of paper. I just really like that little character. The back, I'd have to glue it down, but I like the little dog. And then here's some more from that same package of, which I think is, like I said, Tim Holtz. Then I made a little tiny book. I just wanted to make a little book that is the same shape. If I fold it out, it's the same shape as these papers. And I made a little book that's a little coffee latte topping with this symbol. And then this is all coffee dyed paper. And then I had some stamps that I put on one page. And I love handmade paper. Just, I should say hand altered paper. I do make handmade paper as well, but this is really altered, where I scrunch it up and then dip it in a coffee dye and spray it with things and stamp it with things. And I really enjoy that. So there's that. Lots of fun. And I can write in that. I can give it to somebody else. Like I say, I can use this as a package of things to give to people. And then I like making little drawings. This is just a silly hello there kitty cat drawing. Just for fun. Another little flower with a coffee cup. This is just a random little ruler thing that was in one of the packages. And here's the back again. It's a coffee patterned paper. And I'm just going to pull these out. There's nothing earth-shattering in here. This was done as part of a gel plate. This is a little snippet of things that could be put together, pulled apart, used for other things. Some more of that same paper my son gave me. Just little things that if somebody, I could give them this as a little bundle, a random set of things that they could put in their own junk journals or attach to an envelope, or, just anything they wanted to do, scrapbooks, you name it. So that's what this little thing is. And then what I'm going to finish it off with is I have ribbon that's not the same color as this, but the same kind of paper. And I'm going to cut it up. And this is sari silk, sari as in an Indian sari. And I'm going to cut this up and tie one onto each of these. And it'll be completely finished up. So that's what I did, and I really enjoyed myself doing it. And it did spark my creativity. So I'm looking forward to finishing this one off and starting on a bigger project. You can see all my bits and pieces of scrap and paper and everything that I did. I don't save most of my tiniest pieces because I just have a lot. And so I feel like I don't necessarily have to do that. This was the hole punch I used throughout is a little heart shape, which is kind of fun just on itself. I glued and stapled the bottom of those. Let me pour this out. I glued and stapled the bottom of each of these pockets of these sleeves so that they serve as a pocket, and that was easy and fun, and so I enjoyed doing that. Let me get those back in there. Okay, so I'll finish that off this afternoon. I'm going to actually put this little thing in there too, but first I want to put some distress ink on it, and I'll fold it up and put it in there as well. I just came across that and thought, ooh, that's got to be added too. So, and I got out all kinds of stuff in anticipation, little, shark paper clips and different little bags of goodies that I've got strung around. And so I'm sure you have many of those same things. And one of the challenges, of course, is always how in the world do we organize them so we can find them? And that's part of what I've been doing. I like to use scrapbook paper bins, those clear ones that you can get at Hobby Lobby and Michael's and other places when they're on sale, because I like to use that size, and I can then put a label on the front, and I can store them very, very easily and get them out, use them, and then they're easy to put back together. But let me show you some of this other goodie stuff that I got recently. It's not everything. I just got a couple of packages from Echo Park. This is another little thing I made. This was my warm-up to the bigger thing. This is just the same exact little kind of sleeve, and all I did was I put junk paper in the inside and here in the inside, and then I cut paper that would fit the full length, and then I just stitched it in and tied it. And what I'm going to use this for is I like to have notebooks up by my calendar in our area in the living room, dining room, where we keep track of our family time and what we're doing, doctor appointments and all that. And we're always looking for a piece of paper to write down something. And so I try to make these off and on, all different kinds of sizes. And as one runs out, then I just make another. And I enjoy that so much just because it's something I made. So that was fun and very easy. And if you've got somebody, again, like I say, if you've got somebody who's a real Starbucks fan, it's fun to take these sleeves and turn them into something like this. You could actually close this off and decorate this and put a gift card in there or some cash or whatever. And it's just fun. They'll like it. Okay, so let me get all my little bits and bobs that are separate from what I'm going to show you. I got a couple of different things. Echo Park has had a clearance sale, and like most clearance sales, it's stuff that's outside that season, or they take sheets of their paper, I would imagine, that are just enough left over that it's hard for them to dispose of it, is my guess. They're not going to sell it by, tons more of it, or they've sold all but just a bit, and so they're putting it on clearance. And then it was really pretty good deals that I was very happy to get. So I have these stencils, and I'm really looking forward to using those. What I like to use these for is to put solar paste or some other kind of dimensional product over them, and then put color using distress ink or ink pads, or even acrylic paints or whatever. For the paper products, for the most part, I use a lot of distress oxides and distress inks and that sort of thing, And this is the same thing. What I want to do with this one is I want to take some more hand altered paper that I tea dye, and then I want to put some of these little lines over portions of that with a stronger deep tea or coffee, so that it actually makes a pattern that will not dry terribly dark, but will just make a good background paper. So I think that would be fun to do some scrapbooking with. Okay, let me get this little guy open. And I'll just open it right here and show you what I got. But I did get some they're another, you know, just fairly nice bits of paper that I really enjoy. So I'm looking forward to using these. Okay. So, of course, little doggies. These are great to give to people who've just gotten a new dog. Or you can always use the back, which is a very pretty little color. I like that, a little wave. But I think this would make really cute borders if I'm giving someone a birthday card who loves dogs, or, you know, all kinds of ways. Again, this was another little dog one. Thought it would be a lot of fun. I am hoping that I'm going to get another little dog sometime in, maybe in August, late August, early September, and I may make myself a little dog announcement, you know. And then these are just the little tags that you can make. I've never been a great fan of this kind of paper, but it is awfully cute in junk journals and things like that, or to make things like gift cards out of. It turns out I like it that way. It's just sort of fun. I love to have sheets that I can write on, and I will break this up into smaller sheets, maybe even tear it and use it inside some of my other pieces, as I love to tear edges and leave them coarse, and that will tear very nicely. So I'm looking forward to that. So I got a couple of sheets of that to do. I like those. And then these are smaller cards. I loved each one of these. I thought they were very fun. I have a lot of friends who are scrapbook people, or they take a lot of photos, but they don't actually ever print their photos. And so I like to give them these, and just to encourage them to actually print out some of their photos and maybe make their own little tiny booklet, because sometimes if you give people a tiny photo type album, they'll print some out just for that and not feel so overwhelmed. And then I'm always up for Halloween, so I love these little ghosties. I thought those would be very cheerful and fun, and here we are. We're going to have to start making things like that before long. And like I say, I got some others. I do want to show you a couple of other things, and then I plan my next video will be an actual crafting video, so that we can get back into doing some things. And I've got a couple of ideas I'm not going to share here, because invariably when I do that, that never works out. I don't recall ever showing these online. I have a little online shop, and I have put these in there. They do sell pretty well, but I just wanted to show you what they are. This is a watercolor paper. This is from Mexico. It comes in big sheets. It has a really unique, I want to see if I can show you how heavy that texture is, so that it's really lovely for watercolor, and also for other kinds of ink type drawings. If it were me doing any kind of wet work, I would put a sheet behind it. I would put a towel, I would put something like this that's the water won't go through, but then I would put a paper towel behind it so that it doesn't run anywhere. And then I would paint on this, because until I was sure how it would react. Some people are very wet watercolor artists, and some people are not, and so it will just be vary based on that. It's also beautiful to just draw on, and especially with ink, it's beautiful with ink. So anyway, that's just one of many that I've done, and like I say, they're in my little shop, and I think people will enjoy those. I know that people that have purchased them and that I've given them to have said that they've really enjoyed something, again, so small that they felt like they could do something with it without committing, forever to trying to get something done. Like all of us have those mini books that we've purchased to use every single day, and we get through the first 15 pages if we're lucky, and then we don't ever do the rest of them. So I know what that's like, and I hate that feeling. So I thought I'm going to make mine in small doses so that people can do it. And I'm going to show you one more thing, and then I'll close for the day. This is an odd little, I'm sure if you are a junk journal person, you have done this. But in my little town, the post office regularly drops off, and people walking through our street area do this as well. They drop these sheets off, and when they arrive, they're oh gosh, at least 14 inches. Well, they're twice what this is. So this is 6.5. So they would be 13 inches tall, and then they're trifolded already. Well, actually quadrifolded already. They come shaped like that. And so what I do is I cut them in different ways. To make different pockets and things like that. And then what I do, like this one, I've just finished gluing. That's why the clips were on it. I've just finished gluing these edges so that now I have a space where something can be, oops, sorry, I guess I should put that where you can actually see it, where things can be put. And I don't care that people will see this on the inside for the projects that I'm doing. I do plan, though, to cover the outside. What I like to do with them, sometimes I cover them first, but I find that it's just really much more fun for me personally to cover after I've glued. I don't worry about these being off center. I don't care about things like that, but I know that there are people that are very fussy about everything lining up. And so, but that's easy to do. You just line them up and cut it. But I just sort of go along faster. And I usually have stuff sticking out the top anyway, like bookmarks and things like that, so no one can see where that is anyway. But what I'll do next is I will cut my paper and glue it onto these, and then I will make a little booklet like this that people can flip through. It will hold some things, and they can flip it over this way, and it will hold some things. And I like to give these to people filled with things like you can make your own cards. So I might put pretty envelopes in the front. I would put cardstock, maybe print cardstock here, and single color cardstock here, and some ephemera here to do things with. And so it's very easy for someone, if I give them this, to have that available. And I usually put in enough for them to make 4 cards. And then, so it's just fun for people. It's a fun gift, and you can actually make it your card if you want to. And they can, if you feel like they may not have some of the supplies that they might want, like glue or tape, you can always, these are not terribly expensive to buy. You can tuck one of those in, just something, and a little glue bottle, put a little ribbon around it. These are really, really good for people that are perhaps older, and they may be in a nursing home, but they're still very cognizant and able to get around, and they like to do crafts still, but they may not have the space or tools anymore to do something really fancy and crazy, but they might be able to put something together with this. So I just want to encourage you to share your creativity with others, give them the tools to work with. Maybe sit down with them and say, hey, I'll come over and we can make cards together, and bring your own set of 4 and just play together and talk. So that's it for the day. I thank you so much for watching the channel. I will have a video to show you how to create something. If there is something that you go, I wish someone would show me how to do blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, you've tried the craft perhaps, and it's not working for you. If it's in painting of any kind, if it's in paper products and care, even a bit of sewing for small projects, if there's anything like that that you guys would like to see, choosing glues, choosing clips and places, things like that, just let me know. I would love to have your feedback on my channel. It means so much to me. I would love to have your questions. And I hope that eventually this will become a community where people can get together and read the comments and, participate together. I would just love that so much. And that's it, folks. Thanks a lot for being here with me today, and have a great day.